Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit more information about the graduate nursing program that I'm in and becoming a family nurse practitioner. Thought it was about time for an update since I am halfway through the program at this point, and it is so crazy for me to say that. I can't tell. I'm so happy that first hump is over. And if you haven't met her yet, this is Sally, one of our golden retrievers. I'm gonna start by talking just very briefly about why I went back to school, because I did do an initial video on becoming a nurse practitioner that I will link here that you should definitely check out. Background is in psychology and counseling. As you might have guessed though, I have a strong interest in health and wellness. Since I was about, I would say 21, 22, I've just really gravitated towards nutrition and wellness and health. I originally thought I would go back to study dietetics and become a registered dietitian. I had gotten my health coaching degree while I was in my master's program and absolutely loved that. So I thought naturally the next step would be to be an RD. Long story short, after really researching a lot of different healthcare roles, I landed on nursing. What I love about nursing is the holistic mindset that the profession has towards caring for patients. We truly are trained and taught how to see the whole person and consider the whole picture of someone when we're building their care plan. A little bit about the nursing school program that I'm in. It is called a graduate entry nursing program. And basically what that means is someone entering in at the graduate level that already has a bachelor's degree in something else, but this person wants to become a nurse practitioner. The first year and a half of the program, I was taking pre-licensure coursework or RN registered nurse coursework along with some of the master's courses. So for example, I took advanced family practice this year. Last year I took pathophysiology. As of right now, I've completed Med-Surg 1, Med-Surg 2, course in pediatrics and OB, community health nursing, psychiatric nursing, evidence-based practice, obviously assessment, and then all the clinical placements that came with that. I've had hospital placements now on different Med-Surg units at the main university hospital. I've also been at the Children's Hospital on the oncology unit for a while. I was on the postpartum floor for a while. Did a lot of different placements for community health nursing, went obviously all over the community and did lots of screenings and fun things with community members. And then I've also spent some time on the adolescent unit at the psych hospital. Just listing off all of that experience that I've had thus far is so crazy to me. If you're someone that's watching this questioning whether or not you should take the leap and either enter a nursing program or go back to school or change a career, and you're worried about the time it's going to take to do it, keep in mind, time is going to pass regardless. And it's up to you how you fill that time. Now I've completed all that pre-licensure coursework. I will now move into the post-licensure coursework, or more of the master's level family nurse practitioner specific coursework and clinicals. Next semester will be spring 2020, and I'll be taking advanced assessment. You may or may not know that nurse practitioners can prescribe medication, so of course we'll be taking advanced pharmacology. The way my program works, and something that I so appreciate because it is a full-time program, although it is not fully online, it is very much a hybrid program. So I've had multiple classes every semester. I've had 1 or 2 classes that are completely online, and they either go the full semester or they're a half a semester. And then the other classes either meet once a week or they maybe only meet every other week, and you have some online lectures that you have to listen to. Most of the time the professors will record all their lectures so I can go back and listen to them, or listen to them on my commute to school. Kind of brings me into how I balance all of this. I do work a 40-hour-a-week job. I'm very fortunate that I work from home and it's a remote job, but I still have to put in that many hours into working. And then obviously I have a life and try to make time to make these videos because that's what I love to do. The husband, 2 dogs, amazing family, and I do make time for all of those things. I also make, you know, time for self-care, exercise, cooking healthy meals, but I won't lie, like it does get stressful. I talked pretty openly about my struggle with anxiety. Definitely a huge life event like going back to school, changing jobs, you know, all of that of course is going to induce, you know, more stress and a lot of those anxious thoughts. I really had to prioritize those strategies that I now use to decrease my anxiety, but also stay productive. And one of the things that has been really helpful for studying, for balancing, for organization of life is using my Google Calendar. It sounds really simple and really silly, but it really works for me. I go in every night and click on the next day and I block out, so it's kind of like time blocking. I block out what I'm going to be doing for the whole day. And whether or not I do it to a T, it's not that big of a deal, but just having that plan, like it's almost like setting an intention. I set my intention for that next day. I know what's coming. It's not going to be a surprise. I know what time I need to leave. I know I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. At 6:30, I'm going to start this paper, and you know, however much I have done of it by 7:30, that's great. Then I'm gonna transition to my workout. At 8 a.m., I'm gonna have my breakfast, shower. By 9 a.m., I'm gonna be logged into work. I've had 12-hour day clinicals every semester. Sometimes it's 2 days a week, sometimes, most of the time it's just 1 day a week. Obviously, I'm getting up very early on those days. And so just to kind of keep my body in a rhythm, I realized that like trying to sleep in the rest of the week when I didn't have those like 4:45 a.m. days, it wasn't really good for like just my natural balance and natural circadian rhythm. So I don't get up at 4:45 a.m. every morning, but I do make sure I'm up before 6 a.m. no later, Monday through Friday. Then I still go to sleep around the same time. That would be my tip, is to normalize your weekly schedule as much as you can. Like get into a rhythm, get into a sync so that your body's not constantly like shocked and challenged. And you've got to set some boundaries. So my weekends are for me. And I don't say yes to a lot of things on the weekends unless it's a hell yes. That might be harsh, but it's not for long. It's only for another 1.5 years, and then I can say yes to a lot more things. Going back to school, changing careers, it is a sacrifice. It's not only a sacrifice for me, it's a sacrifice for my husband, my family, for everyone around me, and I don't take that lightly. But it does really help to keep in mind that it is temporary, it's not forever, and there's a bigger picture. Good things in life don't come without sacrifice and hard work. The theme of this is a routine. Back in school, learning a whole new profession, working full-time, balancing work, life, like all these changing, fluctuating things. You need to have something that grounds you. And for me, it's my daily routines, whether it's a night routine, a morning routine, like my stoicism reading every morning, or my stretches that I do every morning, or my workout, or like the smoothie that I really look forward to. It's gotta be just those simple little things that ground you and get you through every day. You've got to have those regular practices that are non-negotiable. I also want to briefly touch on a study tip. I feel like this should be its own video, but one study tip that has really been helpful for me, because professors in my program don't do study guides, which makes it really tough, I think, to study because you feel so overwhelmed with so much material. So one thing that has really helped me is having a goal when I study. And that's something that a lot of professors recommended. So if I have blocked off a time on my calendar, you know, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. is study time, I need to have a goal for that hour. Otherwise, the first 30 minutes, I'm just gonna be fiddling through my notes, not knowing where the heck to go. So in that hour, I might say, okay, I'm gonna go through the gastrointestinal lecture. In that lecture, I'm gonna pick out all the nursing implications, all the safety pieces that I need to be aware of. I'm gonna pick out anything in the lecture that was starred or bolded or that I made extra notes on. And I'm going to not only read over them, but I'm going to you know, rewrite them again in different words. I like to rewrite things. I like to say them out loud. So I'm getting like all the learning styles. I'm writing, I'm hearing, I'm seeing. I'll go into some of my other resources. Like I went to a review for the NCLEX and we got a workbook from that. So I'll like go into that workbook, go to the GI section and kind of see like what notes I took in there. And then I'll go into ATI. ATI is another program we use for NCLEX prep, and I'll go in and do some GI questions from there, or I'll go into an old quiz and do old questions and just see if I remember. A lot of times too, I'll look at old questions from quizzes or workbooks, and I'll look at the answers. And, you know, obviously there's a right answer, but I'll look at the other 3 options and I'll like think of the way the question would have been worded so that one of those things were the answer. So that's just kind of like my quick study tips. Just make sure you have a goal when you study, because then even if it's a half an hour, if you can say, you know, during this half an hour, I'm gonna do 10 GI questions. I don't know why I'm talking about GI. Just recently finished precepting with a nurse in endoscopy. I loved it. It was so freaking cool. I basically got to see endoscopies and colonoscopies all day long. And I was just like, nerding out so much, and I wanted to tell all the patients to eat more fiber, but I couldn't because I'm a mere nursing student, and no one, you know, you kind of have to just take it in and just know that someday you will be able to make recommendations, but today is not that day. You're there to learn. But yeah, that was really fun. A pain point for me, because I do strongly believe in preventative practices and learning about integrative, more holistic, like complementary and alternative ways to care for patients and to manage their treatment. One thing that has been really hard in the pre-licensure phase of becoming an RN is that it's mostly learning acute care. I will say, like, that's something that I kind of knew going in. I'm going to be in hospitals. I'm going to be with very, very, very sick people, sick kids. You know, that was really, really hard for me. Really hard. I'll never forget, they told us at orientation, sometimes you're going to wonder why this class comes before this class, or why you have to learn this before you learn that. Just made the decision that instead of challenging things, I'm just going to trust the process. I'm going to trust that everything I learned in becoming an RN is going to matter and is going to benefit me as a holistic family nurse practitioner. So what's to come? So like I said, I'll be taking those more advanced classes in the spring. In summer 2020, I will actually get a placement with a nurse practitioner. So I'll be doing a clinical placement. I'll actually be practicing, you know, those NP skills. And I'll just have a different placement then every semester up until spring 2021. And then I will graduate and I will become an NP and I'll take my boards. Oh, that's just so crazy. So like this May, it'll be a year from then. So this has been a long chat, but I hope it was helpful. Definitely leave your comments and questions down below. I'll leave links to, like, I think there's a big giant list of all the graduate entry programs in the US. Don't quote me on that, but I think there is. So if I can find it, I'll put a link to that in the description below. Make sure you follow me on Instagram if you don't already. I've been trying to post my stories. Like this video if you want to see more nursing updates and just, you know, my career path and how that's going. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you can be notified of when I upload it. I will be having a more regular uploading schedule with the new year. And that's everything. I will see you guys soon for another one.